In the far corners of the galaxy, across space stations and alien cities, there was one thing everyone laughed at. Humans. Old stories told of a strange species that once walked among the stars. They were fast, clever, and dangerous. But that was long ago. Most aliens believed humans were just a myth, a bedtime story to scare little ones or entertain bored soldiers. In the great learning halls of the Varnic Empire, young aliens studied star maps, ancient wars, and the rise of great civilizations. But no one studied the humans seriously. Except one. His name was Tharn. He was an old alien historian with deep blue skin and 4 glowing eyes. He lived in a small corner of the Imperial Library, surrounded by dusty scrolls and lost data. He had spent his life reading forgotten records, decoding ancient messages, and collecting every small piece of information about the so-called humans. Other scholars laughed behind his back. Still reading fairy tales, Tharn? Looking for your ghost army again? Even students teased him. Maybe one day the humans will come and save you, old fool. Tharn never replied. He just kept working. He believed something the others didn't. Stories come from somewhere, and sometimes they come back. That day, something strange happened. Small research satellite near the edge of the Varnic Empire stopped sending signals. No big deal. Satellites failed all the time. But then another station went dark. And another. Within hours, 7 outposts had lost contact. The military thought it was a system error. Pirates, maybe. Patrol ships were sent to investigate. None returned. In the high command room of the Varnic Central Tower, officers watched in silence as radar screens blinked. Something massive appeared at the border of the Empire. Unrecognized shapes. No. Known engine signals, no known power source. Just silence and size. Ships. Big ships. The kind only a powerful empire could build. But they didn't match any design in the known galaxy. One commander whispered, "Whose fleet is that?" Another answered, "We have no record." Then came the sound. Every comm system across the empire, civilian, military, private, crackled to life at the same moment. A voice, deep and calm, spoke in perfect galactic standard. No distortion, no background noise, just 2 words. "We remember." The word sent a wave of cold fear through every alien mind. In his small library room, Tharn dropped his scroll. That voice. It was human. He was sure of it. He rushed to his old terminal, searching through recordings. He played an ancient audio clip, thousands of years old, recovered from a crashed ship near a dead moon. Same voice pattern, same language, same tone. Humans. But how? They were supposed to be extinct, gone, forgotten. In the skies above Border Sector 9, the unknown fleet slowly moved closer. No attack, no message, just silent movement. The Varnic military panicked. Warships were sent, missiles were prepared, shields went up. But deep inside, every leader felt something they hadn't felt in centuries. Fear. Not fear of war. Fear of the unknown. On a mining colony near the edge, a group of workers watched the sky. A child asked, "What are those?" An elder answered, "Ghosts, or maybe humans." The child laughed. "Humans aren't real." The elder didn't smile. He looked up at the stars and whispered, "Then who is coming?" Back in the Imperial Council chamber, the leaders demanded answers. Scientists searched old files, historians were called, and one name appeared again and again. Tharn. Guards rushed into his chamber. "Come with us, now!" Tharn didn't resist. He had waited his whole life for this moment. As he stood before the council, a screen lit up with the image of one of the unknown ships. It was massive, dark metal, sharp angles, glowing blue lines, no name, no ID, but on its side, in old Earth, Script barely visible were the letters, UNSF, United Nations Space Fleet. Tharn smiled. They are not myths, he said softly. They are memory. The council grew silent. No one laughed now. The voice played again on the screen. We remember. And this time, Tharn spoke with it. We forgot them, but they didn't forget us. The council chamber stayed quiet after the voice faded. No one moved. No one spoke. The words we remember echoed in every alien's mind like thunder from the past. Tharn stood in the center, his hands behind his back, his eyes calm. For the first time in years, the council was listening to him. Are you saying, one general asked, voice shaky, that this is real? That humans are real? Tharn nodded. They were always real. You just didn't want to believe it. The generals demanded proof. So Tharn gave it to them. He opened a worn datapad and projected an old voice recording onto the screen. Thousands of years old. A voice played. It spoke the exact same words. We remember. The accent, the rhythm, the tone. The language, Tharn said, is called English. It belonged to the humans. A silence followed. No one has spoken this language in over 9,000 years, a technician whispered. It's dead. Then why? Tharn asked, looking around the room. Did it speak today? Back in the command center, radar officers stared at their screens. The strange ships were still moving, slowly, calmly, closer to the inner border. No signs of attack. But the fleet was growing. New ships appeared from behind dark moons, from empty space folds and gravity shadows. The numbers increased. 30. 50. No one could count them all. Some had sharp, blade-like shapes. Others were wide, glowing with blue energy, all moved with perfect coordination. They're not here by mistake, said a senior officer. They're organized, trained. Then why haven't they attacked? Asked another. No one had an answer. A day later, one of the missing patrol ships was found drifting in silence near a dead star. No signal, no crew. A rescue team boarded it. Inside, they found something strange. No damage from weapons. No blood. No signs of a fight. The ship's systems had been disabled, cleanly, with precision. On one wall, they found a mark burned into the metal. Old letters. 3 simple characters. UNSF across the Varnic Empire, fear began to spread. People whispered in streets and markets. Did the humans return? Are they angry? Will they destroy us? The leaders tried to keep control, but panic was growing fast. Inside the Imperial archives, Tharn worked day and night. He searched through human history, what little was left. He found old war, logs, journal fragments, damaged satellite records. One message stood out, a warning left by a dying soldier, recorded during the last human war. If we vanish, it is not defeat. It is evolution. We do not forget. We prepare. One day we will return, not for revenge, but to remind the stars that we are still here. Tharn read the words slowly. Then he looked out at the stars through his window. They never left. The message was simple, final, and heavy. In the silence that followed, no one in the Varnic Empire moved. Across ships, planets, and stations, every being watching understood. This was not a demand for land, resources, or surrender. This was judgment. Inside the deep archives, Varnic stood frozen, the files still open on the screen. The truth, the betrayal, the exile, the cover-up. It was all there. He turned slowly, knowing what had to be done. The next day, the Empire's screens lit up again, not with a human message, but with one from the Varnic Council. For the first time in thousands of years, the truth was made public. The Empire confessed. The war, the secret alliance, the erasure of humanity, everything. Then they waited. Hours passed, then days, and still, the human fleet waited too. Until finally another message came, this time in the voice of the same human commander. The stars remember. Now, so do you. We do not seek vengeance. We seek balance. The fleet began to move, not inward, not to attack, but outward, away from the Varnic capital. One by one, the massive ships disappeared into folds of space, vanishing as mysteriously as they had come, but not before leaving one last message. This time we forgive, next time we do not. Then they were gone. In the years that followed, the galaxy changed. The myth of humans became history once more. Varnic schools taught the real story. Monuments were built not in fear, but in respect. And in a quiet wing of the Imperial Library, a new section was opened. Human Archives, the species that remembered. And there, under a glass case, was the old datapad of a forgotten historian named Farnick Thick. It displayed just 3 words. We remember too. No one spoke. The broadcast ended, but its echoes filled every hall, every chamber, every street. For the first time in living memory, the leaders of the Varnic Empire, the most powerful civilization in the quadrant, sat still, not in strategy, not in pride, but in silence. Farnick stood slowly, looking around the chamber. The silence was thick with memory, shame, and something more dangerous. Realization. They don't want our surrender, he said quietly. They want our honesty. Counselor Vex's voice cracked the silence. Then what do we do? If we tell the galaxy the truth about what we did, what we covered up, they already know, Farnick said. The only ones who don't are us. Another counselor snapped. They're forcing us into submission. No, Farnick said, his voice gaining strength. They're forcing us to look in the mirror. Long pause. Then the main screen lit up again. This time, the message was addressed directly to the Varnic people, not the council. To the citizens of the Varnic Empire. Your leaders told you we were gone. Your history told you we were monsters. But we never left. We watched your cities grow. We watched your wars. We listened as our name became a curse, a myth. But we never forgot who we are. We offer no threat unless one is made. We are the United Nations Space Fleet. And we remember. Billions watched. On desert colonies, in deep space mining stations, in orbiting citadels and underwater cities. And they did not see warships. They saw truth. They saw reckoning. They saw the future staring back. In the High Command Tower, General Yaltric muttered, "We thought they were extinct. Instead, they evolved." Farnick turned away from the council. They gave us peace once. Then they gave us silence. Now they've given us a choice. What choice? Someone asked. He looked back over his shoulder. To remember, or to be remembered only as the ones who tried to forget. Outside, the human ships stayed in formation, glowing, patient, absolute. History was no longer hidden. It had come home. Story. The echoes of erased history had found a new voice, one that no power, no fear, no silence could suppress. From forgotten to remembered, the galaxy had witnessed a truth greater than conquest or war, that identity, memory, and legacy endure, beyond erasure. And in that understanding, a fragile hope was born, one where past wounds could heal, where differences could be bridged, and where all species could finally stand together, not as enemies, but as witnesses to a shared future.